One of the things that I get asked the most is about the gear that I bring for my girl Wanda here when she comes out with me on my backpacking trips. We go through one of these almost every single year. Much like myself, her gear changes almost every year. So this is going to be Wanda's 2024 version of what's in my pack. Wanda is going with the Roughwear Palisades pack. I will be having a full review coming out on the pack. When that is out, I'll pop it up in the cards here for you guys. I think it comes up on this side. Great backpack. This is the one where the saddlebags completely come off, so you can detach the saddlebags and you've got a full harness for your dog. Awesome little backpack, lots of attachment points, lots of pockets, lots of compression on the pack. One of the most important things for hiking with your dog is making sure that the saddlebags are evenly balanced and making sure that they're kind of like sucked into your dog so that the gear's not banging around loose. We've been using this pack for a couple months now. Very, very happy with the pack. Really, really like it. Like I said, lots of pockets, lots of cool features on it. It's about 17 liters of space. So for our big, 6-7 day backpacking trips, she's able to carry all of her own gear, all of her own food. The weight of the pack is 980 grams or about 1.8 pounds for the size medium. That's what she wears. Roughwear's got an awesome sizing guide on their site for picking the right size pack for your dog. So if you're interested, I'll put links in the description box down below for the pack as well as all the rest of the gear that we're going to talk about in this video. I'm an ultralight backpacker and I do try to make sure that her gear is lightweight as well. So you'll notice a lot of pretty nice lightweight gear in Wanda's bag. The less weight that she's going to carry, the more comfortable she's going to be out there on trail and the happier she's going to be when she comes out with me. One of the really nice features of the Palisades pack is it actually comes with 2 1-liter water bladders. These have their own pockets on the bag and they do come with the pack, which is really, really nice to have. Just having the ability, to have an extra 2 liters of water to carry with me is really nice. They just stash in her bag in little pockets. You don't even really have to think about them unless you need them. I went through and I weighed everything before, so I'm just gonna lay the cheat sheet down here so I can get all the weights. The bladders are 1 1/4 ounces each or about 34 grams a piece. So not a whole lot of weight for her to have the ability to carry 2 liters of water if we need it. On the sides of her bag, there's 2 little kind of quick access pockets. On the one side of her bag, she carries her booties. These are just 4 little soft booties. They're just kind of like socks, almost like a canvasy type material. I don't like the hard bottom booties. I find they just rub, and we've tried them with her before and it gave her a blister on her paw pad. These seem to work really well. They've held up for years. Like I bought these when she was a puppy. She's gonna be 7 this year, and this is the same set that she's been using. We've gone over a lot of really rocky, rough terrain. That's pretty much the only time she wears the booties. If it's really rocky or really rough, it just gives her a little bit of extra protection for the paw pads. The bag of booties, all 4, is 1.5 ounces or 42 grams. That includes the little bag that they're in. I throw them in a Ziploc bag just to keep them dry. Wanda loves the water. She lays in every pool of water we come across. So making sure all her gear can stay dry in her pack is really important. And then in the same pocket as her booties is Wanda's leash. This here is 7/64 am steel. I've spliced a couple pieces together to make a UCR or a utility constrictor rope. And then I've got an am steel soft shackle that just acts as a carabiner to hook up to either her collar or the harness on her backpack. This is the same stuff that I make my hammock suspensions out of. So my whoopee slings are made out of the exact same stuff. It extends from either 6 feet to 2.5 feet. So same thing like a whoopee sling. It's got a little berry on there and you just kind of slide the one piece in and you can adjust it. If you're not sure how a UCR or utility constrictor rope works, just look it up on YouTube. There's tons of different tutorials on how to make them and how they work. They're very, very cheap. This thing cost me like $4 to make, including the soft shackle. It's 5/8 of an ounce or 21 grams, so very, very lightweight. One of the pieces of gear for Wanda and myself that she ends up carrying is the bear hang kit. In here, there's 50 feet of a Spectra line, a carabiner, and a titanium toggle for hanging my bear bag if I need to hang a bear bag. What this primarily is for creating a dog run for her. In the provincial parks and national parks for us up here in Canada, dogs have to be on leash all the time. You can't have your dog off leash. So having the ability to string a line between 2 trees and I'll hook her leash up to it and hook up to her harness, and then she's got a bit of a dog run. She can move back and forth and gets a little bit of freedom to move around. 62 grams or 2 1/4 of an ounce, so not a lot of weight. Doesn't take up a lot of space in her bag. And then in that same pocket, she's got her food and water bowls. These are 2 Dyneema dog food bowls from Dutchware Gear. They're very, very simple design. It just folds up to a little bowl where you can put some food or some water in here. These are stupidly lightweight, being made out of Dyneema. When I set these up for her with her food in the morning, I usually have to put a rock in the corner because any kind of breeze and these things just go flying. 2 of these combined weigh 4 grams. Also hanging out on the outside of her bag is a poop bag dispenser. This is from Night Eyes. Poop bag dispenser, 52 grams or 1 3/4 of an ounce. That includes a carabiner that hooks it up to her bag. She knows her backpack's not going on, so she's a little bit depressed, aren't you? Are you sad? You want a treat? You sit? You sit? You sit? You treat? The bulk of Wanda's gear goes in the 2 large saddlebags on the pack. On each side, I've just got 2 simple trash bags. Those act as pack liners to keep everything inside those nice and dry. So she'll carry her food in there. Obviously, I don't have food, but for her food, I just use Ziploc freezer bags and I just individually package each meal. Those are really nice because it's easy to balance out the weight. You know, just if you notice the pack kind of sliding to one side, I usually just pull a food bag or 2 out of the heavier side, put it in the lighter side, and it's really nice and easy to balance out. On the one side of her pack, she carries a pack towel. I think this is just like a medium or large size pack towel, just a microfiber towel for drying her off. She loves going in the water. One of the worst things is going to bed with a wet dog. I don't want my tent smelling like wet dog. And the towel is 87 grams or 3 1/8 of an ounce. And one of my personal favorite pieces of Wanda gear is her rubber ducky rain jacket. I'm not usually too worried about her getting wet and cold out in the backcountry. She handles the cold very well in our, you know, -30 to -40 winters we get up here in northern Alberta. She is outside playing in the snow. You have to fight to get her inside. She loves the cold weather. You know, like I mentioned before, I don't like going to bed with a wet dog. So if we get to camp and it's raining or, you know, drizzling a little bit, I'll throw the rain jacket on her. I think I got this on Amazon. It's just adorable. It's got little rubber duckies on it. Just one of my favorite pieces of gear because it's really cute on her. Weighs 80 grams or 2 3/4 of an ounce. And that pretty much covers everything that Wanda will carry in her pack. I tend to carry a lot of her sleeping gear, mostly because it's bigger and bulkier. And that's what we're gonna go over next. Probably make it out here. We're kneeling on it. This is Wanda's sleeping pad. It's just one of those cheap blue foam sleeping pads you can find at most outdoor retailers. I've cut it down a little bit. It's 20 inches wide, 34 inches long. Weighs 5 3/8 of an ounce or 152 grams. I usually have this strapped to the outside of my pack when we're out hiking. I like that because, you know, when I stop and take a little bit of a break, if I want to lay down and, you know, have a nap on trail or whatever, you know, I can use this. It's really nice. One of the pieces of gear I get asked about the most, and one of my personal favorite pieces of backpacking gear I've ever bought, is the Cave Creek Pet Palace. I've got it here stuffed into actually an old Thermarest stuff sack. Mostly just because the stuff sack is smaller than the stuff sack the Pet Palace came with. Weighs 1 pound 9 ounces or about 702 grams. This here is the fully integrated bug net and bathtub floor that goes around my hammock. Not the lightest thing in the world, but this also eliminates me having to have a bug net on my hammock. So it does kind of balance out the weight a little bit that way. I also don't have to carry a ground sheet. It keeps her nice and, you know, sealed in, protected from the bugs. She's inside with me, which is really nice. She absolutely loves the thing. The flies outside are absolutely loving her, jeepers. On the outside of it, I've just got a couple little titanium carabiners. That's just for, you know, connecting it to my tarp and, you know, giving it a little bit more space, and it's got pullouts on it and stuff like that. Really awesome piece of gear. We've had this for a number of years now and still one of my absolute favorite pieces of backpacking gear I've ever bought. Wanda's got a couple different blankets, just kind of depending on the time of year and where we're going, what overnight temperatures are going to be, that kind of thing. She's got one of those synthetic throw blankets that you see at Costco all the time. It's 1 pound 1 ounce or about 485 grams. But for the most part, Wanda just brings her little thin fleece blanket. This is a really cheap Edmonton Oilers fleece throw. If you can't tell, we love the Oilers up here. 290 grams or 10 ounces. She usually doesn't need the blanket. She'll shake it off, but it just kind of gives me the peace of mind that, you know, if she wakes up and she's chilly and bumps my hammock, I can just kind of throw this over top of her, give her a little bit more warmth and comfort and stuff like that. Last but not least is the first aid kit. This is mine and Wanda's first aid kit. It's bigger than a lot of ultralight backpackers usually carry, but I've got a bunch of stuff in here that is Wanda specific. You know, I've got some different dog ointments and different bandages and some vet wrap and stuff like that. That's going to give me the ability to bandage her up and it's not going to stick to her fur. I've also got some Benadryl in here if she ends up biting a bee and, you know, gets swollen face and that kind of thing. That pretty much covers all of Wanda's backpacking gear. If you guys have any questions about any of the gear in particular, or, you know, any questions about tips and tricks for hiking with your dog, let me know in the comments down below. We love helping you guys out. And if you guys are interested in seeing any of Wanda's other gear loadouts from past years, I'll put a couple of them here and here, so check those out when you're done with this video. And as always, guys, I am Matty. This is Wanda. Thank you guys so dang much for watching. We will see you on the next one.